Good morning, Mary News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Wednesday, October 15, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Manchester murder victim identified. The woman whose body was found in the deep rural community of Sherhampton with a knife in her neck early Tuesday morning has been identified by the police. The woman, Lorraine Davey, was a resident of Sherhampton, which is located between Huntley and Midstone in northwestern Manchester. A police report said sometime after 9 p.m. on Monday, Davey reportedly left a shop in Sherhampton. Police said residents stumbled on her body early Tuesday morning on a road in the area. On Tuesday, a senior police source said a man who reportedly had an estranged relationship with Davey was detained for questioning. Statistics from the police show that up to last Saturday, October 11, Manchester recorded 26 murders since the start of this year, compared to 42 for the corresponding period last year. Last Thursday, at the monthly sitting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, Superintendent of Police Kerry Duncan said interpersonal conflicts account for the majority of violent crimes committed in Manchester. When we talk about the homicides in the parish, unlike last year when we had some amount of gang activity in the space which were perpetrating murders, we are not seeing that this year. And that is not by chance, that is by us targeting the gangs and the gangsters and the means by which they funded their gangs. Some have been arrested, some have been displaced outside of the parish, he said. So what we are seeing now is a plethora of murders that are interpersonal in nature. Just to put that into context, we have some domestic disputes, he added, while referencing recent cases involving relatives. There was one where an uncle and a nephew had a dispute as to who was to tie their cow where, so as to allow them to feed, and that caused a dispute, and the uncle was killed. Another one with her cousins as to who was to plant the potato slips where, and we saw a murder coming out of that, Duncan said, adding that the police continue to encourage people to amicably resolve their disputes. Armored truck driver wanted in $15 million ABM theft at the St. Andrew supermarket. A security officer is wanted in connection with a $15 million robbery of an automated banking machine at a supermarket in St. Andrew on Sunday. The news understands that about 9 a.m., the suspect, who is employed as a driver at a popular security company, and 4 of his co-workers went to service an ABM at the shopping facility when he was left in the armored truck. On the return of the driver's colleagues to the vehicle, it was discovered that he was missing. Upon the review of security footage, it is alleged that the suspect was seen on camera exiting the back of the vehicle with a backpack and later leaving the compound with the same bag. Attempts to reach the suspect have reportedly proven futile, and he has not been seen or heard from since. The Halfway Tree police are investigating. Man charged for recording St. Mary's Southeastern ballot recount, posting video online. The St. Mary police on Monday charged a man for using his cell phone to record electoral proceedings during the official counting of ballots for the St. Mary's Southeastern constituency following the September 3 general elections and posting the video to social media. Leon Campbell, 47, otherwise called Poogie, is charged with the use of a computer for malicious communication and obstruction of an election officer. Jamaicans went to the polls on September 3. According to the police, on Thursday, September 4, during the recount of ballots for the St. Mary's Southeastern seat at the Anota Bay Primary School, Campbell reportedly used his cell phone to record electoral workers while making statements alleging electoral misconduct. The seat was contested by the Jamaica Labour Party's Dr. Norman Dunn and the People's National Party's Christopher Brown. Those comments, which were later uploaded to social media, caused the workers to feel intimidated and obstructed in the execution of their duties. The St. Mary Police remain committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring that all electoral processes are conducted in a safe, fair and orderly manner, said head of the St. Mary Police Division, Anthony Wallace. Following an investigation, Campbell was arrested and charged on Monday, October 13, at the Anotta Bay Police Station. He was granted bail in the sum of $150,000 and is scheduled to appear before the parish court in Anotta Bay on Tuesday, October 28. Brown was declared the winner of the seat following the final count, defeating then incumbent Dunn by 19 votes. "Me can't come, me have show," Lila Ike tells the court in disorderly conduct case. "Me can't come, me have show." Those were the words of reggae artist Lila Ike said inside the St. Catherine Parish Court when she was told to return to court. The "Where I'm Coming From" singer, whose real name is Alicia Gray, was reminded by Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Elaine after she and her co-accused, Chanel Moore, were given a November 14, 2025 return date. Both the women who are on bail are facing charges of indecent language, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. When the matter was called up, Judge Elaine extended their station bail and set the new date, but Lila Ike told the court she had a show that day. The judge quickly reminded her that since she had pleaded not guilty, it's mandatory for her to appear when the case is mentioned again. Allegations are that on July 24, police stopped a vehicle driven by Gray along Nelson Mandela Highway in St. Catherine for a Road Traffic Act breach. The two women were asked to exit the vehicle but allegedly became boisterous. Despite several warnings to calm down, their behavior reportedly continued, leading to their arrest. They were later charged at the Central Village Police Station. Opposition spokespersons sign IC Code of Conduct. The members of the Shadow Cabinet on Monday signed the Leadership Code of Conduct that was developed by the Integrity Commission. The code embodies the 7 principles of public life: selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, and leadership. Opposition leader Mark Golding says by signing the document, the spokespersons have demonstrated their commitment to the highest standards of ethical conduct expected of public officials.
Those principles are based on the values of integrity, accountability, and transparency. I think it's very important in Jamaica today that our leaders publicly demonstrate their commitment to those values so that the people can have trust and confidence in the leaders of the country. We have once again, by signing the Leadership Code of Conduct, demonstrated our commitment to the values of integrity, accountability, and transparency in how we operate as leaders, and we commit ourselves going forward to upholding those principles.
Dawes wraps a Tufton for management of health sector in maiden speech. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton addressed the Parliament on Tuesday with a statement outlining the government's actions to curb a potential rise in dengue fever. However, opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, quickly shifted focus to other pressing issues. In his opening salvo, Dawes dismissed Tufton's dengue update as out of touch with public concern. He said there are questions hovering around on social media about an Integrity Commission report, questions about how we are dealing with mental health in Jamaica, and the renaming and rebranding of a hospital that has leaking wards, overcrowded patients, and a no capital budget for about 5 years coming from the Ministry of Health. When government members objected that Dawes was not addressing the statement made by Tufton, he cited Standing Orders 11A2, which permit him to raise other matters. He accused Tufton of embarking on a media campaign to distract from his management of the health ministry. According to Dawes, the ministry has failed to take responsibility for growing mental health conditions, instead shifting the burden to the public. This is a pattern of no accountability and deflection, denying involvement, and then a defamation of anyone who dares to criticize the Honorable Minister, Dawes said. He also raised the concerns about alleged ministerial interference in the composition of the board, when they wanted to have a reformation of the leadership of that hospital. Thus indicated that if what is out there is true, then whatever we have been asking about in terms of clarity, in terms of breaches of procurement guidelines, in terms of outright fraud and the misrepresentation and overpaying for equipment, then we will see whether or not this situation at UHWI needs a further drilling down. In response, Tufton offered a sharp rebuke. The member may be practicing for the next general election. This election is done. The people have spoken and we are on this side. On the dengue issue, Tufton said that while activity remained low, with 375 cases reported so far this year compared to 1,319 during the same period in 2024, the country is experiencing a rise in mosquito nuisance from insects not carrying the virus. He warned that Aedes aegypti populations which transmit the dengue virus could increase later this month. Tufton announced enhanced vector control measures, including fogging, particularly at schools on weekends, and a national cleanup campaign to eliminate mosquito breeding sites. He urged the Jamaicans to remain vigilant and take preventative steps despite the current low case numbers. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.